Hello again from my front porch. And I mean, hello from my front porch. It's actually really good to be sitting here on my front porch because for the last, I don't know, couple of weeks, maybe more, it seems like I've been everywhere else but here. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the ATD conference and the opportunity to get to have my family reunion with my training family there. I also enjoyed this last week here. I spent much of the week in Ohio. We're in the midst of trying to create some new programs, some new curriculum stuff for some of our Ohio-based parts of our company, and so it's been really great. And then of course I've spent time with family, and Memorial Day took my mom out around to visit and put flowers on different grave sites, which is a poignant and yet really necessary, not necessary in an obligation way, but just it does something for you. It's an important emotional thing to do, and so we did some of that, and then then this last weekend here I helped Lisa with a whole bunch of stuff. We went out and we did do some garage sailing. And it was funny. We got a lot of compliments on who we were as a couple at these garage sales, which, okay, I guess I'll take compliments wherever they come from. But people seem to think that, number one, we were a well-dressed couple because she was wearing a sundress and I was wearing jeans and a flamingo patterned Hawaiian shirt. People thought we were dressy going to the garage sales, but also we just have fun. We will joke with each other and tease each other and just play off each other and have conversation with the people who are running the garage sales. And I don't know, the people seem to like that. In fact, I kid you not, there was one of the places we were at that we were talking to them about. Lisa and I have this little contest thing where we'll go to like antique stores or secondhand store things or garage sales, like this case, and we each will look for stuff, and then we get up to the counter and we will each buy our stuff. Now, truth be told, sometimes I snag stuff out of her cart or out of her hands, and I pay for them as to give to her as a gift. But still, so I'm kind of stacking the deck here, I guess. but we will do this little contest where we'll both check out, we'll both get our bill and pay, and whoever spent the most, whoever has the bigger bill, wins. That's the little thing that we do. And now understand, we don't. It's not like you spend excessively, but we probably buy a few things we don't really need. But still, the point is, then we determine who won based on who has the bigger number at the end. And so we did that at some of these garage sales too. And there was at least one of these garage sales where the people that were running it, they said, they indicated they had been watching us to comment about how we were dressed, how they thought we looked good, and then this little banter back and forth about I won, I get and they're like, and the wife goes, or not the wife, because she was there with her husband. There was this other lady who I assume must be single, or she's unhappily married. I don't know, but she was like, "Yep, right there, couple goals, right there." And I'm like, "Wow, it feels really cool to be in a position where someone is looking at us and going, oh, a couple goals right there. Really? Oh, well, thank you very much." But so it is really nice to be back home. Now, it has been oppressively muggy, humid, warm, but that's okay. It's just nice to be. People say to me, "It must be great to get to travel so much. Oh, I wish I could travel as much as you do." And don't get me wrong, I'm not dismissing that it isn't nice to be able to not be just nailed, because I've done that too, where I've just been stuck, where I am, and just working in this little bubble and living in this little bubble, and you can get a lot of enjoyment still. You can have a lot of fun. You can make a lot of friends. You can build a lot of connections. But some people, and I would count myself one of them, are wired in a way that you do need a little different adventure. You need a little different opportunities. You need to, I contend that's why journalism was initially a very attractive job for me, because even though technically you're doing the same thing every day, you're interviewing people, you're writing stories, you're doing whatever, the stories are always changing. You're always talking to different people. You're always learning about new stuff. You're always documenting something different, something exciting. And even if you're following up on the same story, you're taking it a different angle, or you're digging deeper with it. And so there's a difference. There's an evolution of it. So it's not like you're just doing the same thing, mundane, every day. I've had those kind of jobs. I did not like them at all. They were not a good fit for me. So yeah, there is truth to the fact that I do enjoy being able to get on a plane and go do my work somewhere. But as much as I do enjoy the just getting away, reality is it's not like a fun time for me, in the sense that it's not like I'm going out and I'm then getting to sightsee and I'm getting to hit the nightclubs and I'm all this the bright lights and the dazzle and this. No, that's usually not the way that it is. In fact, that people say, oh, you must see a lot when you're out traveling like that. Oh yeah, I see a lot of the inside of airplanes and airports and Ubers and hotel rooms and meeting rooms. And I mean, you get to see a little bit more than that, but sometimes not a whole lot. But still, the travel itself, yes, it is good to be able to just get out and go somewhere. But the more I do that, the more I really appreciate being back here. And I realized yesterday as I went out and was doing stuff with Lisa and her daughter and stuff, and when I was driving home last night, it was like there was a bit of surrealness in that, over the last 2-3 weeks, I've had rental cars in different places, different states, and I have Ubered and have taken these routes that, in San Diego, we drove right along the harbor, or the Bay Area there, and so it's like looking out over the ocean horizon out over there, and then in Ohio and Kentucky and that area there, obviously seeing a lot of different stuff than you would see here, and the routes are different. Driving through part of Cincinnati, where it's very, very congested from the Midwest, very congested Midwestern city. Even here in Des Moines, you get into downtown Des Moines, you get to experience some of that. But you don't have to go very far outside of downtown Des Moines before that eases up a little bit, thankfully. But so very different, very, very different feel to things. Not just different look, but just it's a different environment. And there might come a day where I'm not living here, not just here, but even in Iowa. It's possible that still could happen. That day may come, but I really like it here. It really appeals. Now, when we're younger, all we can think about is getting out. How can I get out? I need to get out. I want to, the It's a Wonderful Life, George Bailey. I want to go out and see the things. What's the routine he has with Uncle Billy, where he says, you know what the 3 most beautiful sounds are, and Uncle Billy goes, yep. Breakfast is served, lunch is served, dinner is served, and George says, no, it's something like train whistles, boat whistles, and I don't know what the other airplane things are. I don't know, but he's talking about travel because he's focused on the I want to get out, want to explore, and that's what so many of us look for when we're younger, when we want to go out and explore the world. And sadly, not everybody gets a chance to do that. I am fortunate that I have had a chance to do that. I have been, all over this country, to both coasts, the top and the bottom, and a lot of places in between. And it's been a really, really good educational experience for me. But as good as that is, there still is nothing like coming home. There just isn't. And maybe it's because I'm getting older. I try to discount that. But I really believe that it's something intuitively inside of us. As we go through different generations of life, there is a point, in our young adulthood, where we want to spread those wings. We want to explore. We want to experience more than what's been handed to us by our parents and our elders as we were growing up. We want to blaze a trail that is unique to us. It's just ours. And we recognize we cannot do that staying where we are. We have to get out and go elsewhere. I think a lot of people at that stage in life feel that way. I did. But then, for various reasons, maturity, parenthood, different experiences that we may have, good or bad, wherever we have gone to, there begins to be this development of appreciation for where it was that you couldn't get out of fast enough when you were young. You begin to recognize, maybe it's not. It could be nostalgia. Could be that we forget the bad stuff and we always only think about the good stuff. Could be. But I'm telling you, I come back here. Now, granted, I say come back here to Iowa. I did not grow up in Des Moines. I grew up in Carroll, which is an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to the west of here. It's in the middle of west central Iowa, but it is definitely a much smaller community. Now, would I still feel the way I feel about coming home if that's where I was going home to? Maybe not. That might be, at this point now, that might be too small for me. And I hate to say it like I'm this, urbanite kind of thing, but I have lived in urban settings larger than where I grew up in for long enough that you do evolve to a point where you get to a point where your comfort level adjusts. But where I'm at here, where the front porch is located, I have the benefit of this feeling like a very rural neighborhood. I mean, there's other houses here around me, but it's a very quiet street because at one end, not even quarter mile, literally just down the hill, there's an intersection, and on the other side of the intersection is a floodplain. There's not going to be any construction going on that floodplain. I mean, massive Des Moines River floodplain. Then you go up my street the other way, and it goes a little bit longer that way, but it gets up to 2nd Avenue, which is 4-lane, going back and forth from Des Moines to Ankeny, and on the other side is businesses. Now, is it possible that so it T-intersects? There's no street that goes across. It just boom. So basically, my street is box-ended at both ends. There is no through traffic, except for people just cutting through to go from one street to the other, basically. Now, is it possible at that end there could one day be different construction? Sure, there could be. But you see, there's businesses there, and on the other side of those businesses are houses. And so, what would be the point in punching a street, taking out a business and punching a street through when all you're doing is then another road into houses? There are already many other streets into that. So there's no rhyme or reason to why that would be the case, at least that I can foresee at this point. Bottom line is, my street is very quiet. And yet, I live just 3 blocks away from the interstate. So I can get onto 2nd Avenue, which is a main tributary for traffic in Des Moines and up to Ankeny, and I can get out on Interstate 35 in 5 minutes. Boom, go anywhere I want. Interstate 35, I-80, all that. And so I have this readily accessible, now I should have said that because I was going to say access to the world. Readily accessible access. Yeah, that's a brilliant statement, Paul. but I do have this ready access to the world. There we go. That's a better statement. And yet, it's quiet. It feels more like home, Carroll, because it's more low-key and neighborhood-oriented here. And I don't know. That's kind of the charm of the front porch. So that's just me babbling. I'm just happy to be home. I'll have travel coming up again in the near future because that project in Ohio especially is going to take up a lot of my time over the next little while here, and so I'll probably be going back there quite a bit. But there's other stuff going on too. I got a trip in Denver coming up in July. Got my Star Trek trip to Ticonderoga, New York, coming up in July also. Might even be going down to Florida. Hint, hint, Ashley and Josh and Ellie. In July. And so got lots of stuff going on. Lots of travel that will be happening. But for right now, this moment, right here, right now, I can say thank you for joining me right here on my front porch. And I'll see you next time from my front porch.